What does that even mean, Bauer's Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for a special Kickstarter preview charged by BoardGameExchange.com, the internet's only board game rental website. And today I'm very excited to be previewing Do Your Job from Wicked Manatee Games. This is for 2 to 5 players, ages 5 and up, and it will take you about 5 to 15 minutes to play this bad boy. And as you can tell from 5 to 15 minutes, ages 5 and up, this is a game you probably will be playing with children at some point. But Do Your Job is a card game that comes in one nice handy little deck. It actually includes 2 separate games. And it is on a Kickstarter near you right now, doing pretty well. I think it's got 33% after just one weekend. So we're going to take a look at how the game is played, and I'm going to let you know who might be interested in backing this project. Let's open this bad boy up and take a look at it. Okay, inside of Do Your Job, let's take a look at what you're going to get. But first and foremost, I want to mention this is the prototype version. Everything you see here is going to change except for the game mechanics themselves because they hired a new artist. They got a new artist to do everything. So the box is going to change, the rule cards are going to change, the back of the cards, front of the cards, everything is going to change. But this is a card game, so you're going to get a lot of cards. I think it's like 50-something. I think it's a standard deck, pretty much. But you're going to get a bunch of cards. First, you're going to get your rule card. One side, you got the corporate ladder rules, and on the back, you have your cops and robbers rule. You probably use this once or twice, never use it again, because at its heart, the games are very simple to learn and to teach, which is always a great thing. Next, for corporate ladder, we're going to go over that one first. We're going to set up a big stack of cards right here, and then 2 cards face down. These are where you're going to be laying cards that you don't want, or moving cards, or what have you. Next, you're going to deal each player 4 cards. Not 5 cards, but 4 cards. So, we'll take a look at our cards. We got a robber, we have a sports car, and we have a magician's cut in half, a thingamabobber. So, in order to win this game, what you're going to need to do is get your job. First, you're going to need to get a job, which are these orange cards. And there's the cop right there, and we have the lottery winner right here. So, let's take a look at these ones. So, in order to win this game, if you're the lottery winner, all you have to do is get this lottery winner card and 1 winning lottery ticket. However, that's very difficult because I believe there's only 1 lottery winner in here and 1 lottery ticket card in there. So it's going to be really hard to get both of them. What you're probably going to end up doing is going for the cop or the astronaut or somebody else. So this is the cop. There's a couple of them in there. And in order for the cop to win the game, he can do one of 2 things. He can either get the race car, the speed gun, and the ticket booklet, and get that set of things. So in order for this guy to win, he would need to have all 3 of those, or he can get the robber and the pair of handcuffs. And as you can probably guess, it's a little bit harder to get the robber and the handcuffs because you only need 2 of them. So he's going to need to get one of those 2 things. As soon as he does, he's going to say, well, I added this part. He's going to say, I did my job, and that person is going to win the game. There's a couple other jobs you can have in here, but you're still going to need to get the sets. When it's your turn, what you're going to do is you're going to do 3 things. You're going to discard a card out of your hand. You are going to draw a card from one of these 3 piles, and you are going to move a card from one pile to the other. You can do them in any order you want. So for me, I'm really looking for a job since I don't have a job. So I'm going to draw the first card, and I got a cop. I am in luck right now. So I'm going to put the card in my hand. Now I'm going to either move a card from one of these piles or discard a card. And since I have 2 sports cards, what I'll probably do is just discard the sports card right there. And then I'll bury it just to be safe, and I'll put this card on top of the sports card. My turn is now over. Now let's take a look at the other guy's turn. He starts off with the astronaut. Good for him, and he's already got the moon right there. So the astronaut, all he needs is the moon, the American flag, and the little space rover thing. So he's going to draw from the top card, probably. He gets a sports card. That's no help. So he'll probably set down one of these. He'd probably set down the sports car, and then he'll probably bury that. Either way, we would go back and forth until someone had gotten everything they need, which would be right here. I'd say, I did my job because I am the cop, I have the criminal, and I have the handcuffs. I would win the game because I had completed my objective and gotten my set. And that's how Corporate Ladder is played. Now let's take a real quick look at how the other game is played, and that is Cops and Robbers. In Cops and Robbers, it is a 2 to 4 player game, even though the creators admitted that the 2-player game is the best way to play the game. And in this game, you are going to get 12 cards. You're going to get a robber, which is the magician, and you're going to get the cop. You're also going to get numbered cards 1 through 10. So both players are going to get those, and then they're going to set all the rest of the cards to the side because we won't need them. Now what you're going to do, this game is kind of tricky to explain, but the way this works is it's a little bit like war. So what you're going to do is, first and foremost, you're going to see how much you're going to bet the other person. So for instance, this guy might say, I'm going to bet 6 points on this turn because it's got the 6. And the other guy would say, all right, well, I'm going to bet 5 points. Now, the next thing you need to do is decide whether you're going to be the cop or the magician. The cop doesn't have any special abilities. He just is a cop. He just doesn't really do anything. However, if you play the magician, aka the robber, what happens is your points will go negative, which means you're now, instead of bidding 5 points, you're bidding negative 5 points, and you are going to switch your face-down cards, because this last face-down card is the war card. So, for instance, if this were this is an 8, and this is a 10. Whoever has the 10 is going to win. But since I played the magician, what would happen is we'd switch these cards around, and now I have an 8, this guy has a 10, and for this particular turn, it actually ends up helping out this guy because he gets this 6, and he gets this negative 5. So he gets 1 point out of that turn. These 2 cards are discarded, and you pick back up your cop and your magician, and you rinse and repeat. So I bid 7, this guy would bid 9, and then if both of us were the magicians, which will happen sometimes, both will go negative, which is very bad. Someone's going to get a lot of negative points here, and you keep both your cards. If both people are cops, none of the cards switch, and everything's positive. But you do that until you run out of cards, and whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. Alright, Do Your Job from Wicked Manatee Games. Let's go over some of the highlights, some things that might push you over the edge into checking out and backing this project. First and foremost, this is a very quick game. It says 5 to 15 minutes. Believe it. You can have this thing out of the box, on the table, and back in the box in under 20 minutes, which is something I always appreciate. Next, it's extremely portable. Throw it in your pocket, throw it in a purse, throw it in a book bag. This game can go with you anywhere, which is always great. Another thing I really liked is there's 2 games in here, and they're 2 completely different games. It's not one of those ones where it's like, oh, both these games are kind of similar. No, the games are drastically different. And they're actually going to be a stepping stone for your children if you end up playing this with your children, which is fantastic. You can start with the corporate ladder, and they're going to enjoy that game. You can teach that to a 4 or 5-year-old, no problem. They'll have a lot of fun playing that game with you. However, once they do start to say, oh, this is kind of getting old, you can say, boom, how about we play the Cops and Robbers variant? So you will grow with your children. So you're going to get years and years out of this game, which is fantastic. The last thing that might push you over the edge into backing this is that kids really do enjoy this game. I can't speak for the Cops and Robbers variant because I do work with preschool children who are very young. However, we played the corporate ladder variant, and the kids at my preschool really enjoyed it. They had a lot of fun with it, trying to get the sets and with the cops and the astronauts. Granted, those are the tentative prototype ones, but from what I've been told, they're going to be really cool. There's going to be pirates and dogs and all sorts of different things. But that is Do Your Job from Wicked Manatee Games. If you are interested in backing this Kickstarter project, go to the link below you and check it out. Tell them Bowers Game Corner sent you. Thanks for your time, YouTube. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to subscribe to my channel.
That was the preview for Do Your Job. For more reviews and previews, check back at Bowers Game Corner. Also check out BoardGameExchange.com, the nationwide board game rental service.